moving. It says the provision for bad debts must be adjusted to 4% of outstanding debtors. How much is our outstanding debtors before we can even recover this one? It was how much? Outstanding debtors. It must come to the balance from the balance sheet section. I'm coming this side again for the calculations. You are having your debtors control as 521,300. Debtors control 521,300. We are having 521,300 plus the 1,700 that was recovered. It means it was part of the debtors control. It was part of the bad debt. 1,700. Then how much do you have? 521,300 plus 1,700. Then you'll be having 532. 1, 2, 3. Then you must multiply this by 4%. 4 over 100. How much do you have? This is what you are going to have. 20,920. Then let's check how much was our provision for the bad debts. Remember, provision for bad debts, it can be an expense, it can be a profit. So let's check from here how much was, it will determine by what we are having here. A provision for bad debts, here it is. Provision for bad debts was 22,000. Then after we have adjusted, it was how much? 20,920. So let's 22,000 less 20,920 will be having 1,080. This 1,080, it is going to be an income. It is part of the receivables. Why do we say it is part of the receivables? Because we as the business estimated that we will keep this amount. Remember, provision for bad debts is not actual money. It's just the money that you keep aside in case other people don't pay you. So we have decided that we will keep 22,000, but only to find that our debtors that did not pay amounted to 20,920. It means this difference was not paid out. So it is receivable. It is coming back into our business. Hence why it must be done under other incomes as provision for bad debts adjustment. A provision for bad debts adjustment. 1,080. We agreed provision for bad debts. Remember, it can be an expense or an income, depending on what did you have or what did you keep. I normally used to say to my learners, if me as the business have kept 22,000, I think people who are not going to pay me, they will owe me 22,000. But only to find that people pay more than I expected, and they paid up to 20,920. It means I'm having the income. Hence why I'm saying the provision for bad debts of 1,080, it is an income. Then let's move to the next transaction. I hope it's clear. Provision for bad debts can either be an expense or can either be a profit. It will depend on how much did you keep aside and how much did the actual thing, the actual money amounted to. Then moving to adjustment 7. Adjustment 7, one employee was omitted. Okay. One employee was omitted from the salaries journal for June 2013. His salary details are as follows. So once you pay salary, it is an expenses. So you must come here and say employer, you must start with salaries, still fine. Salaries and wages. Salaries and wages. So we must check it where? Under our additional information. It must come under additional information. Let's check here. Do we have salaries and wages here? There we are. 788,000. Our salaries and wages is how much? 788,000. So we come here. I'm sorry for this. We can't write it here. It was provided for here. It was provided for here. So we can't have it here. It's how much? 788,000. So it's 788,000. So what should we do with this adjustment? The adjustment says this person was omitted. So it means we must do what? We must include this person. What do we include him with? It means we must add onto the salaries and wages. How much should we add and why? Remember, this amount is what the employer takes out to pay the employee. These two figures there is deduction and there is net salary. The employer is giving you the whole package. So what you should do, you must say 4,000. Sorry for that. You must say 4,980 plus the deduction of 2020. You'll be having 7,000. This 7,000 is the basic that the employer is paying. Here's why you must include it as 7,000 here. Therefore, you'll be having 788,000 plus 7,000. Therefore, you'll be having how much? 7,000 plus 788,000. Then you'll be having 795,000. So you'll be having it here 795,000. Then we move to the next transaction. The next transaction after that one, it should be employer's contribution, because we are still on that particular adjustment. We are still on here, this particular item. So let's check. Employer's contribution was how much from the additional information, from the trial balance that was extracted. Employer's contribution of UIF and whatever is 81,000. Then we must go and say employer's contribution, we having 81,000. So with this 81,000, we should add whatever he has contributed, because it was omitted. It was omitted. So we must include it. 1,610 plus 1,610. Therefore, we add the two together. 81,000 plus 1,610. Then you'll be having 82,610. You'll be having 82,610 as your employer's contribution. 82,610. So this 82,610 is your employer's contribution. So